It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Why'd you have to leave so soon, yeah? Why'd you have to go? Why'd you have to leave me when I needed you the most? 'Cause I don't really know how to tell you without feeling much worse. I know you're in a better place, but it's always gonna hurt. Carry on. Give me all the strength I need to carry on. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. How do I breathe without you? I'm feeling so cold. I'll be waiting right here for you till the day you're home. Carry on. Give me all the strength I need to carry on. So let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. When I see you again, see you again. When I see you again.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Friends, colleagues from the tourism industry, welcome. And thank you for taking time off from your busy schedule. I underline the word busy schedule to join us tonight, to gather here, although virtually, to pay tribute to a fallen hero of our tourism industry. Former Secretary Ramon Jimenez Jr. was such an exemplary person, and he brought our country and our tourism industry to unprecedented heights. And that is the reason why we are all here tonight, to pay tribute to him. To pay tribute to him and to honor him, to honor his life that was well lived. Tonight, we have a lineup of representatives from the different tourism organizations in the country. And they will all sing praises and pay tribute to Secretary Jimenez. Since I already have the microphone, I might as well start with mine. On behalf of the officers and members of the Pacific Asia Travel Association, I thank you, Secretary Jimenez, for having made our jobs much easier. We all know that Secretary Jimenez was branded as the marketing guru, a marketing wizard, and he displayed that during his term when he expertly, skillfully, and ingeniously captured the essence of the Philippines and the Filipino spirit in three simple letters: FUN. And we all know that these three simple letters translated to millions of pesos in additional earnings for our country, and it was something that nobody paid attention to our country before. I never really had enough interaction with Secretary Jimenez, except, of course, from those perfunctory chit chats every time we'd see each other in tourism functions. But I got to know the guy finally towards the end of his term as secretary. The officers of PATA and I visited him at his office on a courtesy call to personally say goodbye to him and to thank him and congratulate him for a job well done. We brought with us a small token of our gratitude, and it was a caricature of himself. And when we gave it to him, that was when I realized indeed he is the marketing person that he has been branded about. So we gave the caricature to him, and he was raving about it. He thanked us profusely, sincerely, and congratulated every one of us in the group and said he loved it. He loved it because he said the caricature, his caricature, looks better than him in person. And that was what made me conclude that indeed, he is a marketing guy, because he displayed one distinct um, quality that every effective marketing person should have. Bolero din siya. Anyway, levity aside, during that meeting, I saw the engaging personality of Secretary Mon as he chatted with each one of us sincerely, leisurely. In fact, there was no sign at all that he was in a hurry. He was leading us on in conversation, on and on and on. In fact, we were the ones who gave up and said, "Sorry, sir, but we have to go," because it was lunchtime. And that was the last time that I saw Secretary Mon. So, Secretary Mon, fare thee well as you leave our broken world and enter into the realm of the divine. I'm sure our Lord Almighty has prepared a special seat for you there. And I'm sure that the moment you enter the gates of heaven, He will call you right away and ask you to see Him, because He will want you to market the splendor, the glory, the beauty, the magnificence of heaven, so that Satan and his evil disciples will be converted and will repent for having poured upon our beautiful country this coronavirus. And of course, Secretary Mon, if our Lord will not ask you to do that, may we, from the tourism industry, request that you do that for us. Thank you, sir, and we love you. Fare thee well. Thank you. Now, I'd like to call on another speaker representing the Tourism Congress of the Philippines, Miss Eileen Clemente. Eileen, you
Thank you,
there?
Bob.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Bob. For me, Secretary Mon Jimenez goes without saying is one of the most greatly admired person and not just as an official. But my first encounter with him just shows that he is no ordinary person because he tackled an issue that nobody wanted to even touch, which is the Tourism Congress and the case that was filed. And instead, it is one of the first thing that he did. Which leads me to the second point about him. He is cunning and crafty in the most positive way, and not the way the words are probably used now. He knew how to cut through a lot of the issues and make novel and unusual solutions. He he would listen to most of the objectives. He would understand everyone's objectives and present solutions that meet at least most of the objectives of the different parties. But the approach will always be different and not what we are used to. Another example would be funding for festivals. Instead of funding the festivals, he asked the LGUs to fund them, but he promised to bring in the people, international and domestic tourists, that would go to these festivals and make these festivals successful. He also was very successful in setting new mindsets. For example, usually everyone would start complaining about the things that need to be done before bringing in the tourists, which is more than the responsibility of the DOT. So he would always say that his job was to step on the gas, and there would be others that would have to press on the brakes. So in this case, he makes it more clearer that there needs to be a collaboration and understanding of the roles of other government departments to get the right formula for success. Whereas before, nobody thought that the other departments had a role in tourism development. He also started paying attention to data, accuracy, and timeliness of them to make his point matter and to show that what tourism is really all about. If I would have a word to really describe and judicious guidance, he didn't have to speak much to get things done because his body language and his aura spoke more than he needed to. I was lucky to have spurts of moments with him alone and not in a meeting for PTAA, Ashanta, or Tourism Congress. The longest being this particular flight to Manado. But we always had times, other times, waiting for our cars, and sometimes just waiting for the next things to happen. But these were the moments I enjoyed most because I saw him in our talks during these times, just like talking to a father or a friend. Though short, they were very memorable. I envy the people who work with him because for sure they heard a lot more than just spurts of his wisdom and felt more of his fatherly love. Though I'm probably not as close to him as others are, I want him to know that he has touched my life and his example, his stewardship, are memories I will cherish forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. The lineup we have tonight is that of tourism professionals from all over the country. Our next speaker is from the Cebu Association of Tour Operators, represented by Ms. Marjet Fernan Villarica. Marjet?
Bob, I'm here na. Okay, good evening, everyone. In behalf of the Cebu Alliance of Tour Operations Specialists, allow me to extend my condolences to the family of the late Secretary Jimenez. I had several memorable opportunities to meet him when I served as director of TPB during his term as DOT Secretary. Sometime November 2017, the former TPB directors decided to have a get together with him. We reminisced our good times. It was an intimate get together of laughter and fun. I now realize that it will be the last time I will see him. I found him to be a humble and soft spoken person. It was a blessing to have worked with him. I say goodbye to a man who worked hard and succeeded in promoting Philippine tourism to the world. May he rest in peace. Amen.
Don, Don, Don.
Ako na. Jay, show me. All right. Thank you, Miss Marjet. And our next speaker to pay tribute to our former Secretary Mon Jimenez is Miss Day. Miss Day,
Yes, good evening.
King of yes, Miss Day.
Yes, of
You
Davao
may
Travel Agencies
yes.
Association. So, good evening, everyone. It's more fun in the Philippines. That's the tourism tagline set that for the country. This has proved to be access and a turning point of the country's tourism industry. Secretary Mon was undeterred despite the criticisms against his campaign slogan and his best effort to promote the Philippines. During his time as Secretary of Department of Tourism, he has proved to be innovative in his ways to improve tourist traffic despite the limited budget. He has encouraged every one of us, every Filipino, to promote the country, thereby making each of us a tourism ambassador. This has effectively increased our tourist arrivals, but moreover, this has promoted us to be this has promoted us to love our own country and to actually travel locally. Further, this helped generate local jobs, uplifting every Filipino's life through his work in the department. A man of action and integrity, the passing of former Secretary Mon Jimenez is of a great loss for the industry and the country. Together with his family and friends, the officers and members of Davao Travel Agencies Association mourn for his passing. In Psalm 46:1, it states that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. In this difficult time, we pray together with the family for their comfort and strength to them.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Day Uy King from the Davao
Welcome.
Travel Agencies Association. Next speaker is from the Hotel, Resort, and Restaurant Association of Cebu, Mr. Carlo Suarez. Carlo.
Um, in behalf of the Hotel Resort Restaurant Association of Cebu, our heartfelt condolence to the family. And well, Secretary Mon, our greatest memories in Cebu is Get Along, and the promotions in the Philippines and all and in Cebu was very good. We lost a great leader, a hero in the tourism industry. Uh, Rest in peace, Secretary Mon, and from the Association of Asia board and members. Um, Great loss to the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carlo. We will now be joined by the representative from Davao Association of Tour Operators, Ms. Pia Montano.
Good evening, everyone. In behalf of the Davao Association of Tour Operators, I would like to extend our heartfelt condolence to the family of the former DOT Secretary Ramon Jimenez. Um, as the tourism industry gathers virtually tonight, we celebrate the life of Secretary Mon and remember beautiful memories shared with him. I do not have much opportunity to work with Secretary Mon, but as a tourism player, we have felt so much that the tourism industry has grown so much under his watch, especially our destination here down in the south of the Philippines. We would like to thank Secretary Mon for saying yes to the call of service by leading the Department of Tourism in a time when it needed a leader in, with a heart to serve, the will to share his knowledge to others, and the love to serve his country. You and the rest of the Department of Tourism team have given the world 7,641 reasons why it's more fun in the Philippines. An unknown author said, "Death leaves a heartache no one can heal, but love leaves a memory no one can steal." God bless you, Secretary Jimenez, and may you rest in peace.
Thank you. From the Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines is Mr. Eugene Yap.
Good evening, everyone. With the Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines' first contact meeting with the good secretary, Mon Jimenez, was when he was kind enough to grace our occasion in the HRAP General Membership meeting. He showed grace and humility, but at the same time, he was able to show his very good plans for tourism for the Philippines. Always a gentleman, always having time for the hotel and restaurant industry. And for these, we salute you. So, in behalf of the Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines General Membership, we would like to offer our sincerest condolences to the family of Secretary Mon Jimenez. May you rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. We will now hear from the Hotel Sales and Marketing Association, Ms. Margie Munsayak. Marge?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Bob and everybody. You know, the now very often repeated and used tourism tagline, "It's more fun in the Philippines," was a brainchild of then Secretary of Tourism, Juan Jimenez. It was couched in simple, easy to understand words. It was catchy and took the world by storm. It was dynamic and thus was born the many and varied "It's more fun" versions of industries. These same qualities encompass the man, the leader that our sect, Juan Jimenez, was. As a board member of the TPB during his term, I was very privileged to see this man in action. He conducted each meeting like a classroom and thus a learning session for me and the rest of the members. He opened my eyes to the world of messaging and focus. During the Hainan typhoon, I specifically remember this. People did not see much of of Secretary Mon and were wondering what he was doing amidst all the challenges tourism was facing. But when the time was right, he came up with the greatest marketing strategy of saying thank you to the whole world through posting in the LED platform of major cities of the world. He always said, "For negative issues, do not talk about it again and again, since it will gain another 15 minutes of fame." And thus, when he did come up with that thank you strategic move, the world was amazed and looked differently at the Philippines. And his generosity and enigmatic personality was so felt by our association, HSMA, when we approached him if we could request for sponsorship for our first Virtuous Awards event. And to our surprise, in the middle of our presentation, without batting his eyes, he said, "Approve." Secretary Mon, the world has truly lost a great man with your passing. Personally, I will miss and mourn you, even as I say thank you for teaching me many things. May you fly to the Lord on the wings of angels to rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Marge. We will now hear from the Movement of Incentive Travel Executives, represented by Mr. Pedro Boy Young. Is Boy there? Okay, we'll set him aside. Let's now call on the Philippine Association of Conventions, Exhibition Organizers, and Suppliers, or PASEOS, represented by Joel Pascual.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Joel.
Okay, news of the loss of Secretary Mon was really heartbreaking. For Paseos, we got to witness the legend at work. By giving Paseos the trust and confidence to organize Madrid Fusion Manila, we were truly able to experience getting to the great mind and shared in the love he had for Philippine tourism. Every meeting with him was an affair we all looked forward to because we just couldn't wait to listen to his words and to be infected by the very passion with which he dispensed his job. Paseos will forever be grateful to the man who helped bring Philippine cuisine to the global stage. As president of Paseos, I always got I also got to understand how big of a legacy he left behind. When I was in meetings with industry players around the world, they all seemed to know the Philippine brand. They all seem to know it's more fun in the Philippines. The impact, positive, the impact, effective. Tatak Mon Jimenez that we can all be very proud of. On a personal level, I kind of saw him as like a Yoda. Genius he is, comforting he is. Even when things seemed to be going wrong in the projects that we were working together with, Secretary Mon, being soft spoken, but so full of wisdom, was always a very calming figure. But I guess more than Yoda, Secretary Mon was like a dad. Whether meeting him at the DOT penthouse, at the SMX Convention Center, or just sharing merienda and stories in a coffee shop, you can't help but hang on to his every word. Never shy to share what's in his mind and to infect you with what's in his heart. Yes, I might not have known Secretary Mon for a very long time, but for the time that I have known him, I have nothing but respect for the man. Respect, sir. Respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you. We are also joined by Ms. Angel Ramos Bognot from NITAS. Angel, is Angel ready? Okay, let's move on to the next one from the Philippine Tour Operators Association, or PhilToa, and it'll be represented by Fe Abling Yu. Fe? Hmm. All right. I guess Fe still getting ready. Let's now call on the Philippine IATA Agents Travel Association, PIATA, represented by Ms. Pat Alberto. Pat?
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Pat.
Good evening, Bob. Good evening, friends. On behalf of the board and members of the Philippine IATA Travel Agencies Association, we would like to give our heartiest condolences to the family of Secretary Mon Jimenez. Uh, I would just like to share a personal experience, a personal feeling that I would want to say today. I met Secretary Mon Jimenez many times in meetings, but when I became part of the board of the Duty Free Philippines, it became up close and personal. He was such an inspiration to us in the private sector. After every meeting, we felt like we had a PhD class, learning so much from such an icon. He was truly so inspirational, so full of life, so full of knowledge. On behalf of my co-board, Joanne Chu and Patrick Chan, we wish to say thank you, Sekmon, for giving us so much knowledge, so much a part of you. and forever you will be in our hearts. Thank you very much, and we love you. Thank you.
Okay, we now move on to the next speaker. May we call on the representative of the Philippine Owners Association, Mr. Jose Mari del Rosario.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me well?
Hi, go
Hi.
ahead.
This is Mari Del Rosario of FINMA Microtel Hotels, and I'm here to represent the Philippine Hotel Owners Association in paying our respects to the late Secretary. The news of former Secretary Mon Jimenez's untimely passing last Monday came as a surprise to many, especially given the current situation. Immediately, there was that feeling of sadness, followed by thoughts of, oh no, there goes another of the good men. Emphasis on good men. It really just seems that we are losing them when we need them the most. Many of us knew Sekmon for his countless contributions to the hospitality industry during his term, and of course, for the well loved tourism campaign, It's More Fun in the Philippines. The campaign was instrumental in showcasing the Philippines as a premier and multifaceted destination in the world. For Sekmon, fun was synonymous to participation and involvement, which may explain why many of us here happily rode and made our own materials and proudly used the logo in our collaterals. Sekmon was known as a true game changer. He tirelessly advocated tourism as a people's business, one that has been and will continue to be a major economic driver for the Philippines, which not only generates revenue but creates employment opportunities for millions of Filipinos. One of the most valuable things he showed us is that beyond the beauty of the Philippines, it is the innately warm and hospitable Filipinos who truly make the country more fun. Aside from the occasional interaction with him when the Hotel Owners Association had meetings with the DOT, we were fortunate to share an office building at Film Plaza in Rockwell, an office he maintained while he was Tourism Secretary and became his Manila office post DOT. This allowed for valuable chances to exchange good conversation and insightful chats with Sekmon. It was a great delight to have him as one of the keynote speakers at the FINMA Forum in 2017, where he talked about his journey as the tourism secretary what it took to change the image of the Philippines to a must see, must experience tourist destination with a diverse set of fun adventures to be had. He generously gave valuable insights on how to carry on and sustain the growth and development of the industry. One quote that sticks with me, and he said, quality is the strategy, not the objective. Hospitality is the weapon, not the goal. He was a man of integrity, passion, and his love for the Philippines and the Filipino people is what fueled him to the very end. I would like to leave you with a story of the last time I saw Sekmon this past January. In what would be one of his final audiences, he spoke with a small audience of 30 MBA students from Columbia University in New York, USA, who had flown in all the way from New York to understand the Philippines and the unique aspects of the country. I tell you, at 64, the man was sharp as ever. The event featured a great back and forth debate where Sekmon's brilliance was on its best display. Some of his best lines included zingers like, my job was to create the tourist demand that forces other departments to improve infrastructure. and I think we succeeded. And when comparing the Philippines to other ASEAN neighbors, the Philippines is a, he says, the Philippines is a country with great people. Singapore is an airport pretending to be a country. I reached out to the professor, the Columbia University professor, Medini Singh, who had the debate with him, and would like to share with you what he had to say after one meeting with the former secretary. He sent this by text today. Secretary Jimenez had the sharpest mind and most colorful personality. He was a student of the world and knew exactly what made the Philippines so special. He gave a wonderful presentation and engaging Q&A. The world found that there is more fun in the Philippines thanks to him. May he rest in peace. I really agree that the world bore witness to what makes us special through the work of SecMon. Now I am sure he's back at work already making it more fun in heaven with his beloved wife, Abby. Thank you for inspiring us with your creative brilliance, wisdom, and kindness, SecMon. You will be missed dearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. Thank you. We will now hear from the representative of the Philippine Tour Operators Association, Ms. Fe Abling Yu. Fe? Okay. Um, let's move on to the president of the Philippine Travel Agencies Association, Mr. Richie Tuanyo.
Thank you, Bob. To the family of former Secretary Mon, friends, colleagues, and everyone present this evening, good evening to all. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, members, partners, and employees of the Philippine Travel Agencies Association, we would like to extend our sincerest condolences to the loved ones of former Tourism Secretary Ramon Jimenez Jr., who recently passed away. It is difficult to imagine the passing of Secretary Mon, known to be one of the most devoted and hardworking people you would ever hope to meet. His career in tourism started with a lot of doubts, as well as people questioning his capabilities and credentials, since he is not from the industry. He accepted the challenge, and his advertising experience served as leverage towards pushing and promoting the Philippines towards the right direction. As a person, he was a man of integrity and vision. He was very down to earth and considering everyone. He vowed to make Philippine tourism the people's business through his joyous, innovative, and fun attitude. His efforts and contributions empowered us as advocates of the travel industry, crafting the known tourism slogan, "It's more fun in the Philippines," up to the policies in the Department of Tourism, which helped shape its National Tourism Development Program from 2016 to 2022. To PTAA, he is known for his sincerity and being a true individual as he served as a genuine sense of duty. He was motivated as all with strong moral and political convictions. He made a commitment and said to us that he would make himself available when invited during our events. We remember how he valued exchanging inputs by leading the gathering of all tourism associations together on a regular basis. With this, we promise that PTAA will continue his legacy of promoting its more fun in the Philippines and supporting the tourism industry. That we would work together with a common goal to bring fun, joy, and meaningful experiences to everyone who travels, just how Mon would have envisioned it. Secretary Mon, maraming salamat po. Godspeed and rest in peace. Thank you.
We will now hear from the movement of incentive travel executives, Mr. Pedro Boy Young.
Hi po sa lahat. I'm Pedro Yang, and in behalf of MITE, or Movement of Incentive Travel Executives, We would like to express our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of our dear and honorable former Secretary Mon Jimenez. When I heard about his passing, it came as a surprise, as in my mind he was energetic and full of fun to be with. I had several occasions to talk to him in small gatherings and also heard him talk many times. He was attentive to all and never leave anyone unrecognized, even to people with low status. That's how I always remember him. He was a person who welcomes everybody with the thought of helping and also understanding better the problems or the concerns of the different levels in the industry. To us in might, his messages were simple, but yet simple. His messages is simple, but yet sensible and irrefutable. Professionally in advertising, he was contemporary and it catered to a broad range of markets because of its relevance and appeal. In his time as Secretary of Tourism, he had given the country a different face. His very appealing campaign, It's More Fun in the Philippines, made a great impact in our industry. It summarizes every traveler's experiences of our natural and historical attractions, and foremost the experience of travelers with their encounter to the local people. As I remember, he had also instituted the reclassification and standardization of the hotels and resorts in the country to make our services more defined and recognized in the international standards, and and he had encouraged small properties and these businessmen to participate as well. When we heard his appointment for the first time sometime in 2011, it was a relief for an industry that was waiting to have a good leader. Though his name was not familiar to many at that time, upon his appointment, he met with everybody and listened to our stories. But the most significant time that I had with him was during the dialogue on the first Tourism Congress that went into some rough journey. He valued the Congress and listened to all concerns and thus bridged the body to metamorphose to a different resolution. One time, after his talk during the general membership meeting of Philtoa, I was seated at the far end of the hall. I was surprised that after his talk, he walked from the stage. He came down from the stage and approached me at my table. I was surprised that he came for me and personally thanked me for our effort in the transition of the Tourism Congress. It was a surprise, as I would not think anyone would do that for a small industry player like me. That was my best memory of him, and his humility, sincerity, profoundness, and dedication will be remembered by people whom he touched. He is an inspiration to the industry. We pray for his eternal rest and to his family our condolences. Maraming salamat po, Secretary Mon Jimenez. Your legacy and achievements will always be remembered by us, and we will keep you in our memory and in our hearts. Nasa puso ka ng maraming Pilipino. Paalam at salamat po. Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear? Um, this is Zet Papa of Skull International Manila. In behalf of Skull International Manila, Club 114, we would like to extend our sincerest thanks to Secretary Mon, even if he's already in the other, you know, realm. Actually, when we had our Asian Congress, he was very supportive. And so, with this, there were so many people who came and saw the beauty of the Philippines, and truly, it was more fun here in the Philippines, they said. His the very colorful logo is also very reminiscent of his very colorful personality. So, Sekmon, we could only offer our prayers and thanks to you now. And in behalf of our SCOL International Manila and colleagues the world over, maraming salamat po. At sana po ay continue namin kayong ipagdadasal dahil we believe and know that you have been such a great man. I sorry, nawala po, nawala. Hello? Can you hear me? Secretary Mon, again, our sincerest thanks in behalf of SCOL International Manila. And we can never forget how supportive you were to our organization when the Asian Congress came here. And so, with our prayers and our sincerest condolences, which we would like to bring and deliver to the family, the staff, and all the people in the industry, maraming salamat po. Eternal rest grant unto you, Sir Monch, and may perpetual light shine upon you. Thank you very much.
Halika na, pumikit, limutin ang problema. Hihintayin ang umaga.
Magpahinga, panaginip ng kaligaya. Darating din ang umaga.
Basta tayo'y magkasama, laging mayroong umagang kay ganda. Parang sikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa